Hello, televiewers of My Media Prime Television and My Gospel Africa. Thank you for joining us on this very special edition of your favorite talk show, Gospel Martyrs. And of course, it's Gospel Martyrs, and also we are coming to you live in the month of March, which is dedicated to celebrating women, women of impact, class, and of course, dignity. Talking about women who are change makers in the nation of Cameroon, there is a woman who happens to be a beacon of hope as well as a force to reckon with every single time that you hear her name. As you can already see, this looks like an empire. The background tells you it's royalty. There is none other than the powerful and, of course, elegant looking and ever beautiful Dr. Apostle Eris Mary Dinga. And televiewers, as it is, of course, a tradition on Gospel Matters, we can't talk about our guest without giving you a rundown of her biography. We have to know where she emanated, how she did it to become who she is today. And that's why I'm encouraging you to stay put as we go on digging deep who she is in her biography. Our guest on Gospel Matters today is a woman of valor and prominence. Apostle Dr. Eris Mary Mbenwe Dinga is her name and was born in Cameroon, where she grew up and later moved to the United States of America, where she lived for a few years and then would decide to return back home. She is currently based in Douala, the economic capital of projects in Africa, the United States, and the United Arab Emirates. In terms of her spiritual journey, she began evangelism way back before 2008, but by that year, she participated in several international conferences and created an evangelical Christian church in her hometown of Bambwe in the northwest region of Cameroon, as an organization based in Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, America, that provides training and mentoring to underprivileged youth and single mothers around the world, just in a bid to build a society in which young people can be equipped with leadership tools and skills to impact their families and create an effect on their communities and the society at large. Away from that, Dr. Eris Mary Global Leadership Institute in 2021 was launched to provide role models and mentors for the Cameroonian youth, encouraging young entrepreneurs as well as leaders. In the same light, the Emmy Business Empowerment Incubator is still her initiative, which is a multi-purpose training center for the less privileged and internally displaced people in Cameroon. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome the founder of Emmy Empire, the ambassador of Youth Connect, a non-profit consultant from the Harvard University, a coach and speaker from the John Maxwell team, and author and more. Apostle Dr. Eris Mary Mbenwe is our woman model for the month of March. In Cameroon, and you grew up in where you spent some years and decided to come back to Cameroon. Now, this is just to ask, can you tell us the lives?
Very much for this amazing opportunity. I am honored to be one of the people somebody can look up to and say, hey, and I always say you cannot look up to me and fail, because I have a whole background of story and life I've been through. It's not been an easy life. I keep saying that I am a good example of someone who actually take lemon and made lemonade out of it. So it's a life of real building my capacity, and most of all, building my confidence. So it has been a very challenging road. Coming from a background where I was raised by a single woman, my mom was my mom and my dad at some time, and it gave me that desire to grow. I only had one choice, and that choice is called success. It's success, and no matter what happened, I need to be successful, because I know where I'm coming from. There was no success, and sometimes you're like, "Are you sure we're gonna make it today? Are you sure we're gonna really have a meal for the day? Are you sure I can be anybody? Are you sure I can even dream, and this dream, come to pass?" That's my background. So it's not been a background of, sport. I was never spoiled. At no instant I had to fight. Fight in making decisions.
Boys and young girls across the country, out of the country as well, are inspired by your words. And like you already spelled it out, it has not been a bed of roses, contrary to the idea many people have out there, thinking that, oh, this woman, the way she was born with a golden spoon on the mouth. And you have, traveled throughout this journey to become an apostle, a conductor, a writer, a life coach, and an entrepreneur.
Yes.
But I'm sure that's not limited to, this description.
It's a lot.
Us, how did you grow up from that young girl who was raised by her mom, who happened to be her dad, to become all of this in one day?
Passion for success. Passion for success. And because of the passion that I had for to become somebody, I also had this dream, of becoming somebody and inspiring some girl coming out from where I'm coming from. I was born in the Northwest region. I grew up in Bambili. So most people from Bambili will know me, but my parents are not from Bambili. So I know of days where I will pick up a magazine on the street and I will say, I wish when I grow up, I wish to be on a magazine cover. And I'm just holding the magazine. I didn't buy it, I picked it. So make it clear, because I couldn't afford it. So I actually picked a used magazine, and I'm like, when I grow up, I would like to be like this girl, this woman right here, and I would like to be on the cover of a magazine. That's one dream.
Do you have any particular role model?
Like a role model at that point in time, let me say it, is Umfe Seke. She was a journalist on CRTV. So every time she would be speaking on television, I would sit and I would listen to her with the headscarf on. With the, we had the answers. These women were my role model. And then after I had Dinali, who opened the television, Cameroon women shaped me. Before Oprah Winfrey and all that, I didn't know about Oprah. I first of all know about Umfe Seke. I know about Ansang. These are the people who kind of made me understand that a woman could be beautiful and also pursue a career. And because of them, I wanted to become a journalist.
Wow.
So I dreamt of becoming a journalist, and I couldn't afford school fees to get to journalism school or anything like that. And I had to trace my path in business because my mom was a petty trader. So my mom was a petty trader, buying vegetables from one village to sell to another village. And so sometimes when she brings it, she'll ask me to sell. So I was trained to sell by selling vegetable by my mom. So when you're done from school, you rush straight to the store and you have to sell the vegetables in the weekends and all that. So it was 1,000 francs. It was 1,000 francs. That's my first capital to selling sweets. And she said, I will not give you anything anymore. You have to sell this sweet and take care of yourself. Buy your underwears, take all that. So I began selling, after selling lip gloss, selling underwears, sell anything that you want. You say, I want to buy this. I rush to the store, I buy, I come and sell. So it became something that I grew up knowing how to sell. So I had to follow the part of business. However, it was not easy. There was a pause somewhere where I was a school dropout because I didn't have the luxury of staying in school throughout the time because my mom needed help with business. My siblings needed help, needed food on the table. So one way or the other, you have to re-strategize, but I understood the importance of education and I will not let go. So
that's so inspiring. And today you are being celebrated not just in Cameroon, Africa, and of course the world at large, not just in terms of business, but let's talk you and ministry.
Yes.
We did back into your biography, which reveals that as of 2008, your love for ministry was got ignited with you attending international conferences and then the dream for your ministry.
Let me tell you something. My love for ministry didn't begin at that time. It began when I was protect me from this. And this thing does not happen to me. I will serve you. I will feed the hungry. I will take care of the needy people because it was a terrible, traumatizing situation. And that was the reason why I would not stay in the classroom because I was almost raped. I think I should talk about this today. And this bunch of throughout the time because my mom needed help with business, my siblings needed help, needed food on the table. So one way or the other, you have to re-strategize, but I understood the importance of education and I will not let go. So
that's so inspiring, Doctor. And today you are being attending the dream for your ministry.
Let me tell you something. My love for ministry didn't begin at that time. It began when I was very young. There was a situation that happened and I told God that when you protect me from this and this thing does not happen to me, I will serve you. I will feed the hungry. I will take care of the needy people, because it was a terrible, traumatizing situation. And that was the reason why I would not stay in the classroom, because I was almost raped. I think I should talk about this today. And this bunch of people who raped my friend, they are all dead, because HIV came out that time, and I was 14 experiencing that. So because of that, I told that, and that night I prayed. I said, God, if these people don't touch me, we're reading and they were hijacked. And I never talked about this story on television or on people or to people. And I told God, if you save me from these people, that time I was in a choir, I would serve you if they don't touch me. They didn't touch me. All the 4 people who raped her died, including her. So just imagine, if I was raped, then I would have died, because that's what HIV just came out, and God saved me. And I told God, because you saved me, I will serve you all my life. So I have been a church girl. I have been, if you ask my friends way back, they will tell you this is one person who will never miss church. Then now, coming to start a ministry, that's where your interview comes in. Okay, let me say it clearly. I know I'm a coach. I was trained to coach, and I was trained to teach. I wasn't trained to own a church. So opening a church is not like opening a church. It was opening a center where I can have more people come for training. Now, but before then, I was frustrated in doing the whole situation because I wasn't trained. So I went to Nigeria for training. Then I went to the USA. When I got to the USA, a lot of things changed. The vision changed. And I could hear God even differently, because now I was focused. I was able to concentrate on me and find out what I want to do and how I want to do it. I always knew that I had a kingly anointing in my life. It's always taught me that your anointing has to do, it's really, really state anointing that you have. It's just like when you talk about Esther, she dealt with the king. You talk about Moses, you see the king. You talk about David, he's the king. You talk about, who would you talk about in the Bible? You talk about Deborah, she walked with the king. So I tell people sometimes you have to find out where God is calling you to operate. God have called me to operate with the governors, with the ministers, with the people who legislate, people who make rules and regulations. And sometimes they will call me and ask, what do you think? We have to meet, we make meetings, we share ideas, look for solutions and all that. I've been blessed to be part of that meeting, whether it's in Cameroon, whether it's in United States of America, whether it's in different countries. I can't even remember how many countries I've been to right now, So that is how the whole ministry came about. Then we opened Real Worship and Gospel Center. Why was Real Worship created? It was not created to be the ordinary church, because people keep asking me, how come you spend 4 months in the USA, 2 months in Cameroon, 6 months in Cameroon? How do you run church like that? In the USA, we train help leaders, open their church, whether it's starting up a ministry, whether it's structuring a ministry, whether it's building your potentials to do ministry. That's who I am. That's my job. That's my expertise. I'm trained in that line.
It's all about bringing people to make a contribution.
Ask me to run a church. If people want, ask me to run a church. If people want you to follow stuff, I have a governmental anointing. Governmental anointing. When you have a government